going to share a personal story with you. I think we'll call this video dodging a bullet. I've been talking, done a few run-up videos, and I've been talking, I noticed in a couple of them about suicide in the depression part, but suicide is not the most important topic. As a matter of fact, it's the topic we want to least avoid by figuring out how to not get in that situation. But we still will have to talk about it. But this time I just want to share something personal that happened to me. Suicide comes upon a person in two ways for me. One is that it's very like a snake that bites you. All of a sudden I will just lose the will to go on, either because there's so much pain or because I have this feeling of worthlessness, because I've not been able to, reach the goals that I've set in my life or even move forward towards them. And in those periods of time, it is very emotional. It's it's irrational, not emotional. I don't know. The emotion is to check out, so I'm not sure what that's sort of a unique emotion, if it is one. So it's a very irrational state of mind, and it jumps out. I was thinking of like walking through the woods and a rattlesnake. No, not a rattlesnake, because a rattlesnake would warn you. A cobra striking out from the grass. But sometimes it's planned, and we'll talk about. Actually, we'll get into one in specifics of suicide. I want to do a video called "Don't Miss," where we talk about how to avoid botching it, because a botched suicide, if you're depressed and want to end it all and you fail and end up blowing off half your face or in some kind of vegetative state, I think your depression will probably be a little bit more, and you won't be able to do anything about it. And I've known people, I've personally known two people that that's happened to, and it's so sad. But I'm going to tell you about the time that I planned a rational suicide and what saved my life. This is a very peculiar story. This was in mid-90s, and we were having trouble getting my surgery approved for reasons maybe we'll go into in later videos. Actually, we should talk about insurance companies and the healthcare system and the problems that chronic pain people and depressed people have with it. Both chronic pain and depressed people are way down the list in Obamacare. As a matter of fact, one of the things that part of the deal that Obama made with the pharmaceutical industries was to make sure that chronic pain patients were sort of, expectations were lowered about their medical treatment. I don't know if you remember, he said something about give your grandma, if she's in pain, give your grandma a pill rather than treat her. The same thing, I think, is going to hold true, or at least it'll be more difficult for chronic pain patients, because treating someone for chronic pain is extremely expensive. It can be. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. Okay, so my rational attempt at suicide that was interrupted. We'd been having trouble getting a surgery. I was unable to work, so I was in a lot of pain. Not even a chance. It appeared not even a chance of getting any kind of surgical correction. Right now I'm on a waiting list, and it's depressing the hell out of me. But then it was it was all in limbo, and I was young and desperately wanting to move my life forward, and I couldn't move. So it was in the afternoon in late winter. My wife was at work at her law firm. I was, I got out some duct tape and some big garbage sacks and went into the bathroom in the bathtub and taped the plastic along the wall so that everything, the brain matter, etc., would be contained. I had purchased, I had a 9mm pistol. I had purchased Hydroshock hollow points, which are, the bullet tip erupts when it hits wet matter, like brain matter or guts. So it's not a straight through bullet. It's hit the soft stuff and explode bullet, because I didn't want to botch it. And that's why I would never use a shotgun, for example, or a longer rifle, because it's too easy to slip and blow off your face, or do something besides get the job done. So I planned that through, and so I was very rational about that part. And then, being rational and my reasoning starting to run through my mind about why not, why not, why not, why do this, why do this, why do this, I drank a 1/2 of Jack Daniels to sort of silence reason. So I made a rational decision to go out irrational. I would never do that again. No, it's because I love reason too much now. So I had the phone, I had the pistol in one hand. Now I laid the pistol down because I had the phone in one hand, and I just started to dial the sheriff's office so that they would come and get the body, because I knew my wife wouldn't be home for a few hours, and I really didn't want her to have to deal with that. And just as I was about to, turn on this phone, get the dial tone, it rang in my hand, and it startled me because I was half drunk and I was scared, and it was, like a shock, a wake-up shock. And I answered the phone, and it was my son, who was a junior in high school, and he called to tell me that he was running for student body president, and asked me if I would help him with his campaign. That was the only time I've plotted a rational end to my life. And I hope I will never do it again. Because one of the lessons that I learned that day was that even though I was unable to work, even though my life goals were essentially out of reach, and even though I was in a lot of pain, there were still people who needed me for some other reason. And those other reasons are important. That was the lesson I learned. And so that's how I dodged the suicide bullet.